Hey friends, what's up? Ash here, welcome back to Gen Sense. Hope you're well. It's a big day in the fragrance world because Mugler is back. Not that they technically really win anywhere, but as far as men's fragrance releases, yeah, we've not been getting too many of those from them, have we? The last Amen fragrance was back in 2019. That one was Amen Ultimate, came in this pretty blue bottle. And that one was fine, maybe not mind-blowing, but it was okay, kind of a sweet coffee fragrance. And then there was the Alien Man line, which, that didn't do so hot, did it? Last one of those was 2020, Alien Man Mirage. And that's been what Mugler men's fragrances have been since then. A mirage, nothing, basically. But now, guys, they're back with Amen Fantasm, spelled F-A-N-T-A-S-M, Fantasm. So this is the first new men's release in a long while. The question is, was the wait worth it? And honestly, for me, I'm impatient. The question is always no with me. I'm just like, give it to me now, I need to know. This one I ordered from Europe. It actually got here pretty quickly. I feel like it took all of maybe 4 or 5 days from the time I ordered it for it to arrive. And I would imagine it's gonna show up before too long in the stores in the US and on Mugler's US website. On some of their international websites, it's already showing up. You know how it is in the US, a lot of times we get things last when it comes to fragrances. Or maybe not last, but after Europe. So this is obviously a new flanker in the classic Amen line, which has spawned some of the best men's fragrances out there, period. At least when they were around. Stuff like Pure Havana, Pure Malt, or for some of you out there, if I can find the bottle, Ultra Zest. So does this one stack up to these heavy hitters over here? Ooh, we'll get to that. And by the way, if these were before your time, basically a really banging tobacco, a really banging boozy fragrance, and a really banging creamsicle. Lots of bangs going on over here. If the video if this comes up for sale in the US before the video goes live, I'll put that in the description. But otherwise, you may be looking at going to eBay or something like that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and start things off by taking a look at the presentation. That's the Mugler circle thing. Here we have the box. You have the name of the house, name of the fragrance, size, and concentration. It's an eau de parfum, 100 ml size. You've got nothing up top or on the sides. On the back, you have your caution information, your ingredients, just all that good stuff. And on the bottom, you will find your batch code. Mine is ABY11EW. And here we have the bottle in that classic Mugler Amen style. Very love it or hate it, but as soon as you see it, you know what it is. On the front, you have a silver star. Has a kind of an almost, not really matte finish to it, but it's not overly reflective either. On the bottom, you have some information on the fragrance. And actually, I was looking around on the bottle here trying to find that batch code, and I can't find it. It's possible that it's hiding from me, I don't know. On a lot of the old ones, it would kind of be printed right here on the bottom of the bottle, but I don't see it right. Yeah, I don't know. And this bottle does have a rubbery feel to it, like a lot of the older Amen bottles do. And here's the main question as pertains to the bottle. Did they fix that atomizer? Let's see. Not really. No. That's the funniest thing ever to me. It's just like, we know the atomizers on these don't work that well. Should we fix that? You know, it's been like 5 years since we put out a new one. Oh, hell no. Nah, just put it out how it's always been, man. That's part of the charm. Actually, the atomizer on this Amen bottle is very slightly better than this one. Now, again, I know a lot of you guys watching this are probably not familiar with the Mugler Amen line, because at one point in time, it was big. It was big. Every year they came out with a new one, and people would be waiting with bated breath to see what it was gonna be, because like I said, had some absolutely killer releases. Some fragrances that you just had to get. Everyone wanted them. Pure Havana, Pure Malt are two of the best fall and winter designer fragrances ever. Ultra Zest is great as well. And even some of the ones that were maybe not as hyped as these, still really good. Pure Tonka was nice. Crypto Mint, pretty good. Pure Leather was okay as well. Pure Coffee. I mean, there were a lot of releases that were nice. Pure Shot. Yeah, that was a really bad choice of name. You can look that one up if you want, Pure Shot. But they changed the name to Pure Energy. So there was a lot of stuff that came out there. You know, every year, like I said, a new one came out, people were pumped, people were excited. I hope we get back to that, honestly. Because if we get some stuff like this, some new releases that can hit as hard as these did, we're in for some good times. But what I was getting at is you may not remember that, you may not have been around back then as far as fragrances go. There is one thing you can do with these atomizers if you just truly hate them as much as some people did, and that is what I did to this one right here. Basically, you just cut around that part of the atomizer. You know, it's got this little part here on top where you would put your finger and spray. You just take a knife or something like that and you just cut right around there in the little spot, basically, that will guide your blade through. Now I understand if you don't want to, you know, hack up your bottle a little bit, but if you do that, it makes it way easier to spray. Now that's not a huge deal or anything, but a lot of people back in the day when these were readily available, when these were coming out every year, would do that. So if you're getting this for the first time, you've never had a Mugler fragrance before for men, you can do that. All right, let's start talking Fantasm, how this one smells. The way that I'm viewing this one is almost like a relaunch, essentially, of the Amen line. Because again, 5 years since we've gotten a new one, and that was Amen Ultimate, which again, like I said at the beginning, it was fine, but it wasn't on the level of these, so kind of a funny choice of name. And then, you know, the bottle itself was all decked out in blue, would make you think of a blue fragrance, but then it really wasn't. So that one felt kind of like, you know, what's going on with this? Fine fragrance and everything, but it seemed a little confused to an extent. So this is like the new iteration of the Amen line, kicking off the Amen line once again. And actually, to me, you can smell the Amen DNA of the original in this fragrance. As soon as I sprayed it on, I was like, oh, okay, I see what they did here. It's got some of those vibes from the OG Amen, but it's definitely tweaked, changed, and modernized. So the original Amen, this thing is a classic at this point, and it is a beast. This is a strong fragrance. Original Amen will last forever, project like a monster. Definitely gonna be more of a fall winter time fragrance. I would not suggest you at all to wear the original Amen in the middle of summer. That's not a great idea. It's got a lot going on with it. Some of the notes that you're gonna pick out of this one the most, the original, is gonna be coffee, patchouli, caramel, some tonka, some aromatics, some green notes, a little lavender in there. It can be aggressive. It can be a little bit abrasive too. Actually, for some people, the original Amen will remind them of like the smell of asphalt. Like you took asphalt, turned it into a fragrance, you know, gave it some more sweetness, but yeah. It's not gonna be a fragrance that works for everybody. Now, as I said, kind of a modern classic to me, and I think a lot of people would agree, but it's gonna be divisive for a lot of people. And compared to what's selling in big numbers nowadays, it's not quite in that style, right? Enter Fantasm. So as I said, it reminds me a bit of the original Amen. You've got some of that DNA in here from there. The patchouli that you find in Amen, you find that in Fantasm as well, but Fantasm is made much more wearable for a modern audience. So when you first spray this on, you're gonna get a little sweet citrus in there. Not an overload, but just a little bit, and that's gonna help lead you into the dry down, whereas with the original Amen, it just pops you as soon as you spray it on. It's like you take this, spray that bad boy, you get kind of a little leafy green vibe in the opening, quickly leading into caramel, coffee, as I said, that patchouli, additional earthiness from that, little aromatic, a little spicy, but definitely aggressive. Fantasm, sweeter, smoother, easier going, little citrus, pop of fresh spice that keeps things, again, a little more grounded. It keeps things more easy going. It leads you into the mid, into the dry down where you get more chocolate. Now, patchouli can come across chocolatey. Actually, there's a number of different fragrances that use patchouli, and the way that it's used gives it a chocolate kind of vibe. And with this one, you have that dark chocolate note mixing with the patchouli, and they kind of go hand in hand here. With Fantasm, it doesn't go as earthy or anything like that. It keeps things sweet from the opening into the dry down. Initially, a little bit of the fruit, and then as it dries, that chocolate patchouli mixture. And it does still have a little aromatic touch to it. There's clary sage in Fantasm. It's a very simplified note breakdown compared to the original Amen, but it doesn't come across as aggressive. So it doesn't have that harshness that you can get around the edges of the original Amen. Like some fragrances that have a lot going on and have those aromatics in there and just really pump, you know, lots of power from the fragrance where you can easily pick it up all day. It'll kind of sting the nose to an extent. This one doesn't. This one keeps it very, very chill, but the performance is still there. You may be thinking that Amen is going to be way stronger than Fantasm because of, you know, all the things I've said, this one being smoother, a little more modernized, you know, not as aggressive along the edges of the fragrance, you know, not as strong. It projects like a monster. It lasts forever. So this is not one of those new releases in a line that's known for strength and they've kind of dialed it down and weakened it up. Nah, this stuff projects, it lasts. One of those ones you can easily pick it up all day, and if you spray it on heavy, oof, I feel bad for the people around you. But to be fair, that was to an extent one of the hallmarks of the Amen line, that the performance, more often than not, would be really good, and they nailed that here. And with this being kind of in a direct line with the original Amen, I would say this is gonna be more of a fall, winter time fragrance, and for a lot of people, it's gonna be more of an evening scent than daytime scent. I wouldn't wear it during the summer. Though to be fair, maybe in the evening in the summer, if you weren't somewhere where it was really hot and humid, you could pull it off because it is slightly fresher than the original Amen, I would say. And it is easier to wear than the original Amen, so there is that. But still, for me, fall, winter, and maybe early spring. Throwing it back to how they used to do the naming conventions, this one would probably be pure chocolate if I had to say one thing, because that's kind of how it used to be, right? Pure malt, pure Havana, pure leather, pure Tonka. To be fair, that one's not pure zest, it's ultra zest, but you get what I'm saying. If you were gonna single out one aspect of the fragrance to make it the ultra or pure part of this scent, I think it would be the chocolate, that chocolate patchouli mix. That's what you'll remember, that's what will keep you coming back. That's kind of the focal point here. But you really could think of this, if you dumb it down, as a modernized, sweetened take on the original Amen that scrubs away a lot of the more aggressive aspects of the fragrance and kind of brings it in line with what's popular now. How good is it in the whole line? Well, I think it's not as good as these. These are like the best of the best for most people out there. It's not quite that good. But could it hang with releases like Pure Tonka, Pure Leather, Crypto Mint, Amen Ultimate, all those? I think it can. And I am hoping that this leads to more Amen fragrances down the line. Mugler has kind of been lost to us for like half a decade at this point, which is a shame because, as I've harped on, it's a fragrance house and a fragrance line that people used to look forward to every single year, and to see that eventually wither away to the point that you're getting nothing, that sucks. I know, that's a hardcore breakdown. That sucks, that's not good. But now we're seeing some signs of life, and I hope we see even more in the years to come. It's a nice jumping off point. Is it something that stands out completely unique against everything else that Mugler has done in the Amen line? No, but it's competently done, the performance is there, and the way that it's done ensures that more people can wear it, hopefully, and it's a compliment pulling type of scent profile. So hopefully that does push this forward and we get more. So there we go, guys. Amen. The new one, Fantasm. I really enjoy it, really nice. I'm gonna personally hold off on wearing it more though, until it gets cool outside. I've been wearing it here recently, but 95-degree weather is not what that was made for, I'll tell you that. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.